Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, CBS Sports presents the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with Alex Hawkins. And everybody knows the successful Cowboys are on their way to the playoffs. But what about the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, they're going to have to rely heavily on Ron Jaworski. Ron is having kind of an up-and-down year. He's thrown 16 touchdown passes, and that's quite good, but he's also thrown 19 interceptions, and that's very high.
Well, if he's going to have a chance to set up, he's going to rely, among others, on a fellow by the name of Stan Walters.
Yeah, and a lot of the Eagle people think that he deserves all-pro consideration, and we're going to find out today because he's going against the baddest Texan of them all, Harvey Martin.
Yes, Harvey Martin has 20 sacks this year, only 2 less than the club record held by George Andre of 22. So Harvey Martin and Stan Walters will be a great feature today. The Cowboys on their way, 11 out of 12 times going into the playoffs. A victory today ensures the home field advantage, and once again, it'll be in the capable right arm of Roger Staubach.
Well, frankly, Roger has not looked good the last 3 weeks. He has had various injuries, a sprained thumb and a bad hip, but he is altogether well today. There's no excuses there.
Well, those are just some of the principles in today's little drama from Texas. Right now, let's go down to the field.
And I say that Roger Staubach is quite well, but that's about all I can say because the Cowboys are a banged-up, beaten, battered team, and they're coming in here today with several key injuries. Fitzgerald may or may not start at center, in which case they'd put Burton Lawless at guard and move Rafferty over to the center spot. Randy Hughes will not play at all.
Well, down on the field, the Eagles have already lost the toss, so they will be kicking off, and Butch Johnson along with Larry Brinson are deep inside the 5-yard line for Dallas. The Cowboys coming in with a record of 9-2, and they hold an overwhelming record. They're 22-12 in games with the Eagles, and the Eagles have not won down here since 1967. So the Philadelphia Eagles with a record of 3-8 against the Dallas Cowboys 9-2, and we're waiting now for the moment before the ball is kicked and we get this underway. The newest member of the club, Nick Mickemeyer, is ready and kicks it off, and here we go. The ball will be fielded on the 5-yard line by Butch Johnson. He's out to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, and to the 42-yard line before he is belted down at the last minute by Wilbert Montgomery.
What a player. Butch Johnson, he's been good for the Cowboys all year, returning punts and kickoffs. Also a very capable receiver. Butch ranks high in the kickoff return leaders around the National Football League. Watch him. He's a physical receiver.
Johnson, who averages 22 yards per kickoff return, almost double that figure as he runs the ball out to the 42-yard line of Dallas. Dorsett in the backfield with Robert Newhouse. The backs are split. 1st and 10 on the Cowboy 42. In motion is Drew Pearson. Dorsett runs right into Charlie Johnson. And number 65, Charlie Johnson of the Philadelphia Eagles, will be carrying a big load today.
Well, when you're going to use that 3-man front, you've got to have a great man on the center's nose, and they think Charlie Johnson's going to be just that. He's been awfully quick, and the Cowboys respect him, I'll tell you that.
There was a question as to whether Fitzgerald would be snapping. John Fitzgerald, and he is. He's got a bad knee, but he is starting for the Cowboys. Staubach, Pearson, and Dupre, along with Golden Richards. There the boys up front, Neely Scott, and it is not Rafferty now, it is John Fitzgerald. There goes Robert Newhouse, and again Charlie Johnson wraps him up. Johnson is a rookie out of Colorado, although he spent 2 years in the Army and had a tour in Vietnam. That rookie designation does not mean he is still wet behind the ears. He is anything but. Now Mihalik comes out as they're looking pass, and Martin Mitchell comes into the defensive secondary for Philadelphia. The Cowboys got a great return out of Butch Johnson to the 42-yard line. They have moved it to the 47-yard line. So it is 3rd and 5. And out of the shotgun, Staubach. Only Preston Pearson loose, and they'll dump it off to Pearson behind a screen at midfield. He's to the 35, to the 30, and grabbed at the 25. Frank LeMaster got him from behind. He's down to the 22, 1st and 10, Dallas.
As you know, they put Preston Pearson in the game in passing situation. He has only carried the ball from scrimmage 1 time in the last 2 games, but is so effective coming out of that backfield. Such an intelligent football player, receiving and running the ball, and watch how he follows his blocks here. Never leaving his friends. He stays there. Behind Rafferty, makes his cut there. Look how he follows his blockers, Ben.
A marvelous play. Typical Dallas execution as they move the ball to the Philadelphia 23-yard line. First and 10 Cowboys. Drew Pearson is wide left. And Tony Dorsett is the deep man out of the I. And Dorsett, with Rafferty pulling for him, he cannot turn the corner, and he is knocked out of bounds at the last moment by number 46, Herman Edwards. So Tom Rafferty pulled and tried to lead the way, but there were too many Eagles. However, he has moved the ball inside the 20 to the 17-yard line.
What a year, almost a certain Rookie of the Year in Tony Dorsett.
Dorsett's numbers are overwhelming.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say he's second to Peyton in touchdowns. Walter has 11, and Dorsett with 9.
And you know how many more times that Peyton carries a ball than Dorsett.
Exactly. So Drew Pearson is wide left. Dorsett and Newhouse behind Staubach. Play action fake to Newhouse down the left side, and he overthrew his man, Tony Dorsett, who was wide open.
Had Drew Mahalik beaten that time. He just overthrew it just a shade. Cowboys coming out throwing it, brother.
That play action fake to Robert Newhouse really froze the middle of the Philadelphia Ball Club, and it sprung Dorsett, and Staubach a little early and perhaps not quite warmed up enough overthrows his man.
Well, I'll tell you, the Dallas coaching staff have a lot of respect for the Philadelphia team. They really do. And they also have paid one of the nicest tributes to Dick Vermeil that you want to hear. They just said the strongest thing about their team is their coaching.
3rd and 5 for the Cowboys. Again, the backs are split. We'll see it's a passing formation, and Pearson goes out. A double pump, and he hits his tight end Dupre to the 1-yard line. Brought down by Randy Logan.
It was too much time that time. Roger Staubach had time to look over the field. He didn't go to his primary receiver. He had to go to a secondary receiver, which is Drew Pearson. Had plenty of time to look over the field. Watch, he's trying to hit somebody out of the backfield, looking to his right. Can't find him open, then he spots him again. Too much time to give a guy like Roger Staubach, and he hit him right in the numbers. Randy Hughes brings him down just short of the goal line.
So they'll spot the ball just inside the 2-yard line where it's 1st and goal. Dupree and Salty are the tight ends. Dorsett and Newhouse the backs behind Staubach. 1st and goal from the 2. Dorsett. And he goes blasting through for the touchdown. His 10th touchdown rushing of the year.
Working right up the middle. Look at the acceleration of Dorsett. He's there. All you have to do is shade your blocker. Just give him a little bit of room like that with the acceleration he's got. Watch, there's really not a gaping hole there at all. Look how quickly he hits it. Behind the block there, Herbert Scott. And right on in. Gracious me.
So typical blackboard execution by the Dallas Cowboys, and their fans love it. And now Efren Herrera, who is 28 out of 30 in points, kicks it up, and it's good. And just like that, the Cowboys have issued the word to Philadelphia. If you're going to upset us, you're going to have to do it the hard way. The Cowboys early going, 11:51 to go in the first quarter. Cowboys 7, the Philadelphia Eagles nothing.
Ford introduces the new Futura. A dramatic combination of styling and technology for 1978 and beyond. Futura. Its striking design is the result of computer modeling and extensive aerodynamic testing. Its excellent fuel economy results in part from the use of high-strength, low-alloy metals in Futura's construction. And Futura's ride is the result of a newly created advanced front suspension system. Futura. In a world where cars are looking more and more alike, it represents a change. A dramatic combination of styling and technology for 1978 and beyond. Realistically priced for today. See your Ford dealer for a personal test drive.
You're looking at the open top of the roof of Texas Stadium. Folks down here feel the weather is an integral part of football, and consequently, the area directly above the playing field is open to the elements, which is one reason why we have trouble with sunlight and shadows. Even though it would appear as if the ballpark is totally enclosed, it is anything but. Efren Herrera out of Guadalajara in a little town, La Experiencia, ready to kick it off. And Herrera squirts one, almost like a runaway gyroscope, fielded on the 10-yard line by Larry Mitchell, who's playing with a broken nose and goes across the 30 to the 32. By the way, this telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. So Larry Marshall brings it out to the 32-yard line, and the Eagles will put it in play. 1st and 10, after we just saw the Cowboys go 58 yards for a touchdown with Tony Dorsett punching over from inside the 2. Ron Jaworski has Smith wide right, Carmichael wide left. His running backs are Sullivan and Hogan. Sullivan is the deep man out of the eye. In motion comes Krefley, the tight end. And it'll be Sullivan gang tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Jones and Martin and Henderson. Jethro Pugh in there as well.
I would not be a bit surprised if Philadelphia gives up on their running attack, because there's no reason for them to have much faith in it. They're rushing for less than 100 yards per game, and that's not enough to go anywhere in the National Football League against a good Dallas defense. I think they're number 3 in total defense. They play the run awfully well.
The Eagles have scored 162, and they have allowed 169. To give you an idea how many close games they've been in. 2nd and 10. Hogan and Sullivan back of Jaworski. Jaworski looking left and going deep and overthrows his man, Charlie Smith, the wide receiver. Aaron Kyle was right there defending. And so this game, the Cowboys asserted themselves with a touchdown. They have the Eagles down 7-0, and they have stopped them on the first 2 plays. Here's the Eagle offense with Ron Jaworski at the wheel. Sullivan and Hogan as running backs. The men who figure to handle the ball when Jaworski passes, Big Harold Carmichael, along with Charlie Smith, and the tight end, Keith Krefel. Krefley up front will be Walters, Key, Morris, Sizemore, and George. So from the 32, it is 3rd and 10. Early in the first quarter, 7-0 Dallas. A slot right with Smith inside Carmichael. And Jaworski going out to the right side off the hands of Harold Carmichael. That would have been a first down had Carmichael been able to hold on to it.
And you know it's high when you overthrow that dude.
He has caught a pass, at least one, in 77 consecutive games. And he comes in here having caught 6 touchdown passes, but that one a little too much out of his reach.
For what it's worth, the record for the Eagles is 80, and that's held by Tommy McDonald in 80 straight games.
There's the punter, Spike Jones. He's had 2 blocks this year, and he's averaged a little more than 37 yards a punt. So Spike will be kicking from his own 20. Benny Barnes is picked up, and he just does get the punt away. Fair catch by Butch Johnson, and he makes the catch inside his 25-yard line. Good coverage there. Vince Papali was right down his throat. Had he not called for a fair catch, Papali would have really lowered the boom. We've got 10:49 to go in the first quarter. 7-0, the Dallas Cowboys.
This Christmas card was sent to you by the people at Miller High Life. Merry Christmas.
The Cowboy fans are happy. They're leading 7-0. That was a fine punt by Spike Jones that covered 45 yards, no return. Staubach puts it in play, 1st and 10 from his own 24. Drew Pearson is wide right, Golden Richards wide left, and it's Robert Newhouse. Got away from LeMaster and got out to the 31. So LeMaster had him at the line of scrimmage and couldn't hold him, and Newhouse barrels forward.
Bobby Newhouse having one of his better years. He's been around, I guess, about 6 years. His second year was outstanding. He rushed for about 950-some yards, but this year has been by far the best since then.
So Robert Newhouse picks up a strong 7 on that carry. That makes it 2nd and 3 for the Cowboys as they advance the ball to their own 31-yard line. Roger Staubach now becomes the oldest playing quarterback, with Tarkington injured and Kilmer not playing. Staubach at 35 is the senior citizen. Dorsett picks up the first down easily as he gets out to the 40-yard line.
I will say easily. Big hole there by Herbert Scott and John Fitzgerald on that left side. Let's watch Bill Berge here. Number 66. Taking on the blocker well, but Newhouse goes right outside, follows his blocking well. Dupree staying with his man well. Berge with the persistence that makes him an all-pro player. They gave up an awful lot for him, but he's an awful lot of football player.
And there are a lot of awful good football players down on that field. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for Dallas. Pearson is right. Richards is left. Staubach play action fake to Dorsett. He's going to crank it up and then throw short to Newhouse, who fumbled, but then dropped on top, and there'll be no completion. He had no possession. Right on his back was Mihalik.
The strength of that Philadelphia defense is in their linebackers. The reason they play a 3-man front and 4 linebackers is because they got 4 capable athletes. They don't have over 3 defensive linemen that they consider first-rate. They went to it not out of choice, but out of necessity. Drew Mihalik right on the spot.
The Eagles threw up a pretty good zone defense on that, and Staubach finally tried to dump off to the shortest man, but it was incomplete to Newhouse. 2nd and 10 from the 40. That's Dupree, the tight end, in motion to the right. And this time it's Dorsett. And he got a good block from Robert Newhouse on Mihalik, and that moved the ball shy of the 50-yard line.
Oh, and those Dallas Cowboys are attacking that left side. They're running off the blocks of Ralph Neely, Herb Scott. Now, whether they're running at any particular person or not, well, we'll see as the game develops. But they're having some success, and there's a guy you don't want to give too much daylight to, Tony Dorsett.
So Roger Staubach, who is 2 for 4 and set it all up for that 2-yard bust by Tony Dorsett for a touchdown, is now trying to control another drive. It is 3rd and about 2 to go for the Cowboys. The ball on the Cowboy 48. It'll be Robert Newhouse, and he's got his first down. And Dorsett threw a block for him, but Newhouse with those powerful legs just turned away.
Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are controlling that line of scrimmage.
Watch how they move out there on that right side. Pat Donovan throwing the key block here. See number 64, Tom Rafferty, pulling. But look, they've already knocked him off the ball for a couple of yards.
So the Cowboys on the move. They already went 58 yards for a touchdown. Now they're moving again from their own 24-yard line. They're in Philadelphia territory at the 48. 1st and 10. And it's Robert Newhouse, and again finding a big hole. And he just had Charlie Johnson on his back, and he rode Big Charlie to the 41-yard line.
Might bring out that around the league, John Fitzgerald has been recognized as one of the top centers with a man on his head, but a lot of people with his injured leg didn't think he would do as well as he's obviously done against Charlie Johnson this early in the game.
Well, a big dogfight. The Denver Broncos coming in at Houston, as you can see, 7-7 in the 2nd quarter. Which is a big date for Dallas and Denver later on this year. 2nd and 3 from the 41-yard line. Richards is left and Drew Pearson right. Pitch back to Dorsett. Good blocking, and there he goes across the 30. Mihalik finally brings him down.
Tell me he isn't exciting. He's had one touchdown burst of about 79 yards or 77 yards. Then we did that ball game. I don't remember whether it was against the Giants or who, or St. Louis.
Charlie Johnson is going to get hurt on this play. There he is.
Watch number 65, Charlie Johnson. Let's see what it comes from. Good pursuit, though, and good speed by a guy that's playing on the center's head, but can't catch me. There it is. Neely coming in low.
Ooh.
A lot of good tackles, but they're too far down the field.
Tony Dorsett was shaken up on the play. Charlie Johnson is still flat on his back after taking that severe lick from Ralph Neely. So for the moment, at least, we have a couple of players healing here in Dallas. We have 7 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. The Cowboys 7 and the Eagles nothing.
Radio Shack has a great space age gift for kids at a down-to-earth price. The original Space Patrol walkie-talkie. Just $14.95 a pair, and they really work. Crystal controlled and battery operated, just like Dad's portable CV. And they're built in Radio Shack's own electronics factory. So
Didn't
this
worry,
Christmas,
Gillette.
thrill your kids with the $14.95 a pair Space Patrol. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Hey, great-looking treads, Kathy.
Goodrich radial TA, Smoothie.
What are you doing?
Checking the air pressure. My Goodrich dealer says it's a good idea.
What for?
Well, if you don't have the right air pressure, the tires won't last as long. Goodrich makes a great tire.
Hey, come to the game, Kathy. I could get you a ride on the Goodrich blimp.
Goodrich doesn't have a blimp, Moosey.
Does that mean you won't come to the game?
Tires you can trust. B.F. Goodrich. The other guys.
Hi, I'm Reggie Jackson, and I'll be appearing with Ned Beatty and Olivia Cole on the return of the hit summer show, Shiznick.
It's Shiznick, premiering Wednesday, December 7th, after Good Times.
Well, there are the two players who are involved. Tony Dorsett on his feet and evidently okay to the right of your picture. And we'll see the play that wiped out Charlie Johnson. And Charlie is the strongest man on the Eagles squad. He bench presses something like 400 pounds. Now, he gets a hand on Dorsett, but here's Ralph Neely in the right-hand corner, just wiped him out. And he looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the game.
You hate to see it. Hate to see it.
First and 10 from the Philadelphia 28-yard line. And Staubach has him moving again. Robert Newhouse behind Herbert Scott's block. And he spins out of bounds. Scott throwing a block on John Bunting, the linebacker on the left side.
Frank Lemaster over there doing a good job. Newhouse probably should have turned it upfield that time rather than go outside. I think he got a little more mileage out of it. Good pursuit, though, by Frank Lemaster.
The report from the Dallas bench that Dorsett had the wind knocked out of him. He's okay, and as you see, he's back in the lineup right now.
That is an artificial playing surface down there, and they can get hard.
2nd and 7. The ball on the Eagle almost on the 25-yard line with 6:54 to go in the first period. And the Cowboys have already asserted themselves. They lead 7-0. Robert Newhouse shy of the 20-yard line. And he was just following Ralph Neely to get there. The Cowboys in very strong command. Last week, you remember, Washington gave them fits in the first half. And in the first meeting between these two teams, the Eagles actually led the Cowboys 7-6 in the fourth quarter. And they're not about to let that happen this time.
No, so the only thing that turned that game around is Charlie Waters blocked the punt, turned that whole game around.
They advanced the ball to the 21-yard line. The drive started on the Dallas 24. So it'll be 3rd and 3. Richards wide left, Drew Pearson wide right. And Staubach on a 3rd and 3 is going to send it up. Rushed by Hairston and sacked by Hairston. A big play by number 78, Carl Hairston, who leads the Eagles in sacks with 8.5.
Now that's 9.5. He has been a pleasant surprise for him. They got him in about the 7th round draft pick. As you know, the Eagles haven't had any draft picks. They trade those all the way for about the last 2 or 3 years. I think next year they have a number 1. They have been pleased with this boy.
That is the 39th sack by the Eagles this year. The Cowboys have 44. Big play by Carl Hairston, and that throws a monkey wrench into that Dallas machine that appeared to be on the move. So they run out of gas on the 36 thanks to the sack. And now Danny White, who has been bothered by a groin pull. Nevertheless, Danny is back. He's been averaging just under 40 yards a punt, and he has kicked 20 out inside the 20.
And keep in mind, he is a quarterback and can throw from that formation.
Larry Marshall and Wally Henry are twin safety men, but hold everything a flag on the play. It would seem to be too much time to get the play off.
That shouldn't affect his punt at all. In fact, it might help him get it out, because when you're kicking from as close as they are, it's easy to put that ball in the end zone.
So from the 36, he'll kick from the 41. And Danny White will now be standing about his own 42-yard line. And again, going back, and this time they might get a shot at the ball. Larry Marshall, number 22, playing with a broken nose, and Wally Henry. And the kick going to Henry's side of the field, and this one is going to go out of bounds, and let's see where they mark it. They will mark it on the 8-yard line of Philadelphia.
Nailed it. Nailed it down.
Danny White out of Arizona State kicks a dandy. And so the Eagles have a long way to go after that 33-yard punt, and the Cowboys leading 7-0.
You get to be the superstar in renting car when you've got the kind of people who can get things ready. Even before you get there, Hertz has more of them than anyone. People who want to get their job done fast and who can put out that extra effort when things get busy.
Go, Hertz, go!
People who know the most important thing is getting each customer away fast into a reliable Ford or other fine car. Come to Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Man, this is a great New York Life team. We play to win for our policy owners. Today we've got another opportunity. George here's got a wife, 2 kids, and a mother. He needs life insurance protection badly, and we've got to get it for him. We're going to block out money problems, protect him against financial disaster. Okay? Let's go! Take the worry off his shoulders. Protect his family. You've made it, George. Financial security.
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York life.
Football, not all a game of pom-poms and cheerleaders. There's another side of the coin. Charlie Johnson with a bad left knee out of the game. From the 8-yard line, the Eagles now, and Ron Jaworski with Sullivan and Hogan. This time it's Herb Lusk carrying out across the 10 to the 12-yard line. So Herb Lusk, who is the backup to Tom Sullivan and has been playing with a bruised hip. Lusk carrying his first carry of the day.
He had a 70-yard run from scrimmage. That's the longest of any of the Eagles. And after that, it goes way down. I think the next longest run is something like 17 yards. So that speaks for their running game. They really don't have that strong a running game. There's Roger Staubach, the extension of the coach's, Tom Landry's philosophy of things, brother. His leader on the field.
6 from the 12. Uh-oh, the tight end, Trefley, started to move. Then the other side of the line started to move. And by the time Herb Lusk gets to move, why, he's stacked up. Tremendous discipline by the Dallas Cowboys with all that movement in the Philadelphia line.
That's right. And that's what Tom Landry stands for. Total discipline. Look at there. Got the safety blitz on. Cliff Harris, number 43 there. Had a 2-man blitz in that time, which you'll often see on a safety blitz. They'll blitz that middle linebacker, Bob Brunig, who is also coming.
Keith Trefley, the tight end, was just able to stay down in his stance. He started to come up, and the other side of the line started to come up, and meanwhile Dallas quivered but held ground and then smothered the carriers. So it is still 3rd and 6, the ball on the 12. Lusk and Hogan, the running back. Smith in motion to the right. Jaworski throwing left to Carmichael. Gets a little bit of a block by Wade Key, and that block might be a clip. Wade Key came over to clear the way and might very well have hit his man from behind. There's a flag down, and we have to assume it was a clip against the Eagles.
Personal foul. Clipping. Number 72. Declined. 4th down.
And it was indeed Wade Key.
A key to the situation, Haas.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
In the first place, I don't believe Carmichael's got the kind of speed to make that play effective. Now, you can do it on the other side with Charlie Smith because he's got a little more speed. I don't think it's particularly a good call.
So Spike Jones, who punted for 45 yards his last time, now kicking from the shadow of the goalpost. Coming in is Benny Barnes, and he's got a piece of it. Barnes blocks the punt, and it goes out of bounds inside the 30. That is the 3rd punt that Spike Jones has had blocked this year, and Benny Barnes was just all alone.
Nobody picked him up that time. And the great speed of Barnes. Look at him on that left side. They can't quite get to him, and now he turns it on. Just sheer speed, and he's got plenty of it. Look how he goes across that in perfect position to get it. And once again, in the previous game, a block punt turned that game around for him.
So technically, Benny Barnes smothers what turns out to be a 15-yard punt, and the Cowboys 1st and 10 on the Eagle 28-yard line. And hold everything, everybody in motion. You talk about student body right. Jay Salty was leading a men's choir going in that direction.
False start, number 68, offense.
So among others, you had Herb Scott, number 68, pulling, and there goes Salty in motion, and Scott tried to get back and couldn't do it.
Ain't no use running if you're on the wrong road, is there, Vince?
What's that thing about we're lost, but we're making good time?
Yes, sir.
All right, 1st and 15. The ball moved back to the Eagle 33-yard line. The Cowboys leading the Eagles 7-0. 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Cowboys have really thrown a lariat around this one, at least the early moments of the game. In motion goes Saldi. Now plants on the right side. Pitch back to Dorsett. He gets away from Randy Logan. Hairston doesn't get him, but Logan comes back to make the catch. So Logan, second time around, gets Dorsett.
One of the strong points of that 3-4 defense is the pursuit, that extra linebacker giving you pursuit, and there's a great example of it right there. LeMaster was out in good shape. Had time to turn it up. Dorsett sees him, gets away from Logan. Logan, one of the better safeties around. He really does a good job for him. He's always a strong safety. As the reason you see the Dallas Bears shifts. He doesn't give up on the missed tackle and comes back and makes it.
So Randy Logan brings him down at the 36-yard line, where it's second down and 18 to go for Staubach and the Cowboys. And Roger, trying to take a lot, dumps it to Dorsett, chased by Mihalik and caught from behind. Drew Mihalik making a fine recovery to get Dorsett.
Mihalik showing great speed that time. Dorsett, he's full speed in 2 strides, and that's most of the great backs really are. There's a great difference between the good backs and the great ones. And this guy's got all the tools in the world to be one of the great ones. But look at Mihalik. Good speed. There's Anthony. Another look at it from another angle. And look. Yes, he's got acceleration, but not that kind. Not with a good speed behind him.
So Mihalik drops him at the 35-yard line, where it's 3rd and 17. Mitchell is in. Mihalik goes out as Roger loads up the shotgun. Dorsett staying in to block. Chasing him is Burnham, and he throws it out of bounds. No good. Lem Burnham put tremendous heat on Staubach, and Burnham's whole job is to sack the quarterback, and he made Staubach unload it out of bounds. Good play by Lem Burnham.
He's a pretty old rookie, isn't he? 25 or 26 years?
Burnham, number 67, spent 2 years in the World Football League at Hawaii and 4 years in the Marines.
Before coming here. Worked as a truck driver, I understand, I believe, right after high school before he went to college.
So he did a good job
Look at Butch
of forcing.
Johnson. Now, wait a second. Is he inbounds or out of bounds on that? Looks like he does a good job of keeping those feet in. It looks like
both
it's
feet
close.
are down.
That left one might be out there.
I think the left one was down and the right one was just off the ground as he alternated touching. And so Danny White will be punting from midfield. Larry Marshall, number 22. Wally Henry, number 89, in twin safety for the Eagles. 2:29 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Dallas. And this one again goes out of bounds deep in Eagle territory to the 6-yard line. So Danny White, driving the Eagles crazy, he's pulled out their tail feathers and they can't get off the ground, Hawk. Don't forget, on Saturday, December 17th, the CBS Sports Spectacular, the WBC World Welterweight Championship. That'll be Carlos Palomino and Jose Palacios. Palomino, by the way, has knocked out 16 of his 24 wins. There'll be the 1977 National Hot Rod Association World Championships, U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Championships, and the World's Strongest Men. That's the Sports Spectacular, Saturday, December 17th. 1st and 10 from the 6-yard line for the Eagles, so they haven't had field position at all. Last time they started on the 8. Tim Sullivan looking for daylight. There isn't any there.
They've got to come up with some kind of big play to get back in the ball games. They're certainly not out of it at 7-0, but with the field position, frankly, the Eagles are just not a good enough team to get behind the Cowboys too far and hope to make a game of it. And I thank you, boys.
You've got some friends down here. Well, you've got friends everywhere.
Well, I got a lot of friends down in this area. I stay down here a lot.
So the Eagles took over on their own 8. Now they take over on their own 6. It is 2nd and 8 from the 8. 7-0 Dallas. 1:50 left in the first quarter. In motion goes Kreppley, the tight end. Here comes Hogan, and he bangs to the 10, and then he in turn is drilled. Bob Brunig.
Do you believe this New York Giants St. Louis game? But you know the St. Louis Cardinals don't call that one over yet. 17-7 New York.
But even so, it is still a shock no matter what the
right.
Cardinals come up with.
It
course,
surely
let's
is
see,
that.
Mike Sensenbaugh broke his arm. Leo Nelson is out. Their secondary has really been riddled with injuries.
They have that.
3rd and 4 from the 12. 1 minute and 14 seconds to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Dallas. Smith in a slot right inside Carmichael. The backs go out, And to Carmichael goes the pass, and he's out of bounds at the 18-yard line. So they started on the 6. They move it out and pick up the first down, and Jaworski finally gets a little bit of breathing room. Remember, when they started on the 8, he just missed on a pass to Carmichael that went off the big wide receiver's fingertip. First and 10 on the Eagle 18. Sullivan and Hogan, with Sullivan the deep man. And here comes Sullivan, and he just runs into a gang of people. Charlie Waters came up to hit him, but Bob Brunig was there, Randy White. They're just not going to do it on the ground, and Jaworski no doubt knows it.
Going to be interesting to see how this young man right now works as a quarterback for the Eagles. The Rams more or less gave up on him, ever being an outstanding quarterback. They knew he had fair capabilities, but it's going to be interesting to see. The jury's still out on him.
He's been sacked 36 times this year, 8 times last week against New England. He broke his thumb against Dallas the first time, but he doesn't miss playing. He's tough. Fake draw to Hogan, and Jaworski looking down the middle, and he's going to overthrow Keith Prepley, the tight end.
Had him wide open, too. Overthrew him badly that time. And that could have been the play they needed to threaten to score. They've got to get out of their own backyard.
Dallas really let down. They took the fake on Hogan. I guess they didn't think Jaworski would throw deep in his own territory.
Well, those Dallas Cowboys for years, Tom Landry's theory is on defense, you stop the run first and let the pass worry about itself. They'll read run first before they ever go. It's surprising they have as many sacks as they do, but they lead all football with 44 quarterback sacks despite the fact they play the run first.
To give you an idea, the Eagles have rushed for a grand total of 11 yards so far today. And it is 3rd and 9 from the 19. Jaworski going high left for Carmichael, and he throws it over the head of Carmichael, who is 6 feet 8 inches tall. So Jaworski throws it away. He had a big play to Prepley. That's going to haunt him.
Yes, it will, but he is, as you said, he was sacked 8 times last week. He's been troubled by having to throw the ball a little faster than he should have. That was a good example right there. He could have waited another split second, but I think he's kind of shell shot. You get like that.
Spike Jones had a 45-yard punt a little earlier. He'll be kicking from his 5. LeMaster will stay in to pick up anybody, but remember, Benny Barnes blocked Spike's last attempt. Here they come again, but this time Huther's the closest man, and he couldn't get it. Butch Johnson calling for the fair catch at the 41.
Vince Papale once again making him call for the fair catch. Good coverage for that man.
It's a 39-yard punt for Spike Jones, which is a couple of yards over his average. Big crowd sitting quietly here. The weather might have something to do with it. It was cold and rainy earlier this week, but it is absolutely balmy here in Dallas.
Isn't it pretty? Beats Green Bay, doesn't it, Ben?
Oh, anyhow. We had a glimpse on the pregame show of Green Bay, and it is just about what you expect when you get into December. 1st and 10 from the 42 for Dallas. Here comes Tony Dorsett. He runs around Mihalik, and there's a clip, and I think Mihalik was the clippee this time.
Clippee.
He was hit from behind.
Good block there by Bobby Newhouse. Getting it started. That initial block out of the backfield is so important, and that's primarily why he's in there.
When Dorsett is carrying, you will see number 54 of the Eagles, Drew Mihalik, hit from behind, and the clip was called.
Cowboys continue to try that left side, their offensive left side. For what reason? Well, we'll pick it up in a few minutes.
It is interesting, too, because if you talk to coaches, predominantly ball clubs are right-handed.
That's right. One of the few exceptions I know is the Oakland Raiders. And I guess it's because Stabler's left-handed.
Pretty good idea.
And Art Shell and a couple other guys.
Pick up the call now for
Personal
Matt
foul.
Haggerty.
There you see the clip right there.
Quarter will change the quarter.
I think that's Dupree. Yes, that would be Dupree on Mihalik.
Just as the quarter runs out, they will spot the ball on the 28 when we pick up the second quarter. And so the boys will refresh themselves for a moment and go after him again, with Dallas leading the Philadelphia Eagles at the end of one, 7-0.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Here, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrow.
Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
Spidell, who's gone 4/5 of the way around your wrist for decades, now goes all the way.
Honey, this is the day. Today, I'm going all the way. I'm giving you one of those elegant new Spidell digital watches.
What a provider.
I'm in the 4th week of my 5-week plan to become president. And on the day I do, I'm going all the way. I'm buying myself a Spidell digital watch, and I won't have to push a button to see the time.
Spidell goes all the way with their new digital watches. Why don't you?
You may be looking at an answer to tomorrow's food shortages. A natural protein that grows indoors, developed by the people of Phillips Petroleum. Once processed, this protein can be used to help feed livestock. So millions of acres now needed to grow food for animals can be used to grow food for people instead. Helping prevent tomorrow's food shortages while we make fine products for your car. That's performance from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Well, they're singing in Dallas. The Cowboys leading the Eagles 7-0 as we start the second quarter. 1st and 24 from the Cowboy 28-yard line. In motion comes Dupree. Tony Dorsett was wide open, dragged down by LeMaster at the 40-yard line, and it points up a big difference. In the first quarter, Philadelphia rushed for a total of 11 yards. Dallas for 64, 29 by Dorsett, 35 by Newhouse.
Watch the block of number 73, Ralph Neely, if we can see it. He did a number on Carl Harrison that time. Moved him completely off the ball, a big hole as you see. Number 73 there, the replacement for Charlie Johnson is Pete Lassitich. And LeMaster in it again. I think they're working away from Berge every chance they get.
And it's working for them, 2nd and 12 from the 40-yard line. In motion comes Drew Pearson. And play action fake to Newhouse, and then they dump it off to Newhouse. He has Rafferty out in front as he gets across the 45-yard line, but there's a flag on the play, and it might very well have been trying to get Staubach on a throwing the ball.
I believe you're right.
Kansas City 7, Cincinnati 7 in the second quarter. So there it is. They look like they were roughing up Staubach a little bit.
They're using those screens and the draws and the delay action pretty effectively against Philadelphia. Those linebackers are taking deep drops.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 73, defense, first down.
That's Lassitich. Let's see. He got away from his man, but then, of course, that's what they wanted him to do, to screen, to draw him in there and get him out of the pursuit. Hasn't been playing regularly. That's understandable that he'd make those mistakes. Newhouse puts a burst on. LeMaster right there. The Eagle linebackers, as I said, are dropping deep, but they're coming up, converging very quickly.
That was Tom Rafferty who made the block for Newhouse, so it is 1st and 10 on the Eagle 39-yard line. Salty on the right side now on a wing, and here comes Newhouse, and he runs into a gang. So far, Dorsett in 8 carries has gone for 41 yards. Newhouse in 7 carries, 35 yards. As we said, the Eagles have rushed for only 11. Here's the bowl picture on CBS. Sunday, Christmas Day, Penn State versus Arizona State. Following the Fiesta Bowl will be the Sun Bowl. Saturday, December 31st, Stanford versus LSU.
Yeah, that ought to be a game.
The Cotton Bowl, Monday, January 2nd, undefeated Texas and Notre Dame.
That'll really be a game.
2nd and 7 on the 36 of the Eagles. In motion comes Drew Pearson. Play action fake to Newhouse, who stays in to block. Hairston tried to drag him down and couldn't, but he's eaten up at the last minute by Manny Sistrunk, number 79.
Yes, sir, and you all recall how he got over there on a Joe Lavender trade a year ago, or 2 years ago. Memory escapes me right now. Good coverage there, as you see. Pressure on, and Roger just does not throw it up for grabs. Not many interceptions does this man throw. Eagles have improved themselves over last year considerably in their pass rush. That's their 40th sack of the season, and last year I think they had something like 19, the year before something like 17.
Well, Sistrunk, who put the pressure on and took advantage after Hairston had Staubach scrambling, makes it a 3rd and 6 from the 35-yard line, and so once again, Roger looks down the barrel of the shotgun. 7-0 Dallas early in the second quarter. Throwing it out to Dorsett. Bunting had to bring him down at the 25-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down.
And that is something the Cowboys have used sparingly, as Dorsett is a receiver. As you know, they put Preston Pearson in situations like that. But if you're going to be a running back and as many zone defenses are thrown up, you've got to be able to catch the ball, too.
Coming into this game, Dorsett had caught 20 passes, so he's accustomed to be on the other end of it. He also has Dallas's longest run from scrimmage. He busted one 77 yards against St. Louis. So Tony Dorsett is everything you thought he might be in professional ball. 1st and 10 from the 26, 12 minutes left in the second period. 7-0 Dallas. Newhouse across the 25.
Holding his whole defense together is, as usual, Bill Berge, number 66. What can you say about a guy like that hadn't been said? Not only is he a great football player, he's a great person and a great competitor. He just does not quit. I don't care how far they're out of a game. And speaking of out of the game, the Philadelphia Eagles have not been out of but one game this year, and that was against the Rams in their second game of the season when they got beat 20-0, I believe.
Which is a very frustrating decision for the Eagles. Will they tinker with a club that is going to get better, or do they have a ball club that really just a buck short? There goes Newhouse. And again, the Eagles meet him head on before he can get to the 20-yard line. Newhouse has carried 9 times for 39 yards prior to that trip. For the Eagles, they have been bottled up on a couple of marvelous punts by Danny White. They have also been bottled up by their inability to get the ball away from Dallas, who continue to just hold on to it, even though they have only 1 touchdown. Cowboys went 58 yards the first time they got the opening kickoff after a 37-yard return by Butch Johnson gave them very good field position. 3rd and 5 from the 21 of Philadelphia. Shotgun again. And an inside flip to Pearson. A flag on the play, and he's going into the end zone.
Oh, those Dallas Cowboys. They will throw a wrinkle in now and then.
It'll be motion against Dallas, and that will nullify the touchdown.
And don't that smart.
What's that line? Don't that make your blue eyes brown, or is it brown eyes blue?
Either way, you got it across. Oh, that one does hurt.
Illegal motion, number 67, offense.
Number 67 would be Pat Donovan, having a fine year for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see if we can pick it up. He'd be the right tackle. I don't believe we cut the movement there. But this is Dallas precision, brother, and execution, as you mentioned earlier. When they do get a play, it's all like it's off the blackboard. All the way in, untouched until the 1.
So they'll spot it back on the 26, where it is 3rd and 10 for Staubach. Dorsett and Pearson split behind Roger. Staubach going the distance, and he's intercepted in the end zone by Randy Logan. He's going to run it out to the 15-yard line, spun and dropped at the 17.
What an incredible reception, one-handed.
Randy Logan, his 3rd interception of the year.
No, he fell off that time. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Trying to go to Pearson in the deep post. Roger Staubach didn't even look at anybody else. Now watch the play. With that one hand going up there, he may have stayed in. Sensing an opportunity, he moved on out.
Sir, it's about time you're here. Another late night, I presume? Well, let's get started. The first thing we have for your assignment is this microcassette tape recorder.
Genius. Did you design this, huh?
Well, no, actually. It's a Sony. Next is this radio with 32 worldwide bands can tune in just about any place.
Extraordinary. Who gets the credit for this one?
This is a Sony, too. You'll also need this ultra-compact portable video camera, and we're going to mount this 5-inch color TV in your car, along with this Betamax deck for playback.
Remarkable. Are they,
Yes, they're Sony also.
Excuse me, sir, but did you just walk into a store and buy these?
Well, yes.
Well, keep up the good work, sir.
If it's a little extraordinary, chances are it's a Sony.
And once again, the Philadelphia Eagles have dodged another bullet. That's that interception by Randy Logan, the one-handed one. Time of possession we don't have right now, but a number of plays, Dallas has run 29 against the Eagles 12.
We can give it to you now. Cowboys have had it over 10 minutes, and the Eagles 4 minutes. So 1st and 10 from the 18. Big clutch play for the Eagles, and Jaworski now trying to get out there to Krefli, and Krefli pushed out of bounds after he got across the 35-yard line. He went out at the 37. 1st and 10 Eagles.
He has been a pleasant surprise, Keith Krefli. In fact, he's averaging over 19 yards a carry, and that's high for any tight end in all of football.
Charlie Johnson, whom we saw just about destroyed by Ralph Neely on a clean but savage block, and he doesn't look like a man who's going to play anymore.
No. Took the shoulder pads off.
1st and 10 on the 37. Jaworski again out to Carmichael, and he is drilled and chased by Aaron Kyle. Got it out to the 42-yard line. Don't forget, a great show, the 1977 Heisman Trophy Award Special. Elliott Gould and O.J. Simpson will host an hour of entertainment, and among the many stars appearing, Phyllis George, Reggie Jackson, Connie Stevens, and Leslie Uggam. The presentation of college football's highest honor, Thursday at 10, Eastern 9, Central and Mountain Time. 2nd and 4 from the 43. Carmichael wide right. Smith is left. Fumble, but the Eagles recovered, and the second man fell on top of it as Jaworski couldn't find it, but Hogan did. So Mike Hogan bailing out Jaworski, who just dropped it right on the snap. It's not there. So Hogan came up to save the bacon.
Despite the absence of a running game, the Philadelphia Eagles have done surprisingly well in the stats department for offense. They're 6th in offense in the NFC, and with a record of 3-8, you wouldn't think they'd be that high. But it's been on the arm of Jaworski.
Clutch reception by Randy Logan in the end zone to stop Dallas, plus the infraction of man in motion that took a touchdown away from the Cowboys. And Jaworski spinning out of a sack to the 45, and he'll go down at about the 47. Going down for his life, and I think he would pick up the 1st down.
And you talk about your mobile quarterback. Not only did he gain a couple yards on the thing, and I think gave him a 1st down, but he kept from getting killed by Harvey Martin.
Watch him jump rope back there, too.
Would you watch? This is a sign of an exceptional athlete that makes plays like this. Look at this now. That's Bill Gregory, number 77, Harvey Martin right there. Spins out of that, or he gets knocked out of it, I guess, and turns it on upfield. I believe in a mobile quarterback then.
And he's mobile, all right. 1st and 10 to the Eagle 49-yard line. All started on the interception by Randy Logan. Lust and Hogan in the backfield. Jaworski going to put it up. Looking left, a lot of time. Goes deep left, and it's caught by Hogan, and he's going to go all the way. Mike Hogan, a second-year man out of Tennessee and Chattanooga. And a 51-yard touchdown
pass. And would you believe who he outran that time to get open? Of course, you'll see all the time in the world with that Philadelphia offensive line. Virtually no pass rush, but he beats Tom Henderson, who has excellent speed. Tom Henderson's below a 10-flat sprinter himself. Mike Hogan. Look at it again. All the time in the world. He tried to go deep to Smith on a post pattern, couldn't, and that's his secondary receiver, and a fine reception there by Hogan, who's been just a phenomenal athlete for Philadelphia. He's just been a picture of steadiness.
Nick Mickemeyer just joined the club, gets it up, and it's good, and he is a full-fledged member of the Philadelphia Eagles. So first, an interception by Randy Logan, and then the touchdown pass to Hogan. Logan to Hogan, and we're 7-7 in Texas.
That's a good picture. That's a better picture. Even closer. Even better.
Polaroid's SX70 does, without attachments, what no other camera can do. shoot from less than a foot away. In minutes, you have a color portrait, sharp and clear. Polaroid's SX70 Alpha 1.
America, you've been changing.
Coming, going, changing, growing. The things that make up life.
Why is Bank AmeriCard becoming Visa? To keep up with you.
You're traveling, you're moving, you're taking more from life.
Today, you need money that's good around the corner, all across America, and in 117 countries around the world. That's why Bank AmeriCard is becoming Visa, the most widely recognized card in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
Right this way for Circus of the Stars. Hurry, hurry. See Robert Conrad, Betty White, Linda Carter, and others Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
23-year-old Mike Hogan on the end of that touchdown pass from Ron Jaworski, and the Eagles and Cowboys are tied 7-7. And now Nick Mickemeyer kicks it deep to Larry Brinson on the 1-yard line as the Cowboys take over. Brinson to the 20-yard line. Hit from behind and dragged down by Outlaw, and he got out to about the 23. You know, the Cowboys have been absolutely awesome in the second quarter all year. They have scored 101 points in the second quarter, and when Staubach threw that apparent inside pass to Pearson for a touchdown, it looked like they were going to rout the Eagles. But then came the interception by Randy Logan and the touchdown pass to Mike Hogan, and the Eagles have done it. 82 yards in 6 plays, 7-7 with 7:29 to go in the half. Richards wide right, Pearson wide left. Dorsett, and the Eagles are there. Bill Berge among others to put a hold on him.
You summed it up there. That's been the big quarter all season for the Dallas Cowboys. They've only given up 59 points, and as you said, they've scored 101 in the second quarter.
So the biggest play of the game really turns out to be the motion penalty charged to Pat Donovan, who pulled on what appeared to be the touchdown by Preston Pearson. And the Eagles, they have done all year, gathering themselves together and come back to tie it up. 2nd and 8 from the 26. Butch Johnson is wide right and Pearson wide left. The backs of Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach looks right but then throws to Dorsett, and he's going to go down at the 40-yard line. So Dorsett picks up the first down to the 40.
To see the added dimension you get with a guy named Tony Dorsett in your backfield. Not only running the ball, but in little delayed actions, which are always open. I don't understand why coaches see. He just stays and hangs in the backfield there, waits for those linebackers to clear. A simple pass to throw, and you rarely see it go for under, 6, 8, 10, 12 yards. I don't see why they don't use it more often. But with a guy like him, he can take it the distance.
So Dorsett, who is almost averaging 5 yards a rush, has caught 2. And it's 1st and 10 on the 40, and now Dorsett will run. But Randy Logan hit him at the ankles at the 40-yard line, and then Hairston fell on top. Tom Landry sending in Jay Saldy, the tight end, with another play.
Look at that Mike Ditka. Look at him. Looks like Errol Flynn. Brother. He has kept himself in great shape. You remember Mike Ditka from the Chicago Bears and coming down here with the Dallas Cowboys.
Say, home movies are always good for a laugh, especially when they recapture Rhoda's childhood. Hilarious highlight of tonight's family reunion on Rhoda at 8, 7 Central and Mountain Time. Join the fun. Got fun here. 2nd and 9 from the 41. 7-7. 5:30 left to go to the half. Here comes Newhouse, and he is belted. Lazatich and Hairston really put it to him.
Yes, sir. Pete's playing well in replacement of Charlie Johnson. Pete Lazatich. He has done well.
Lazatich, who made that stop, number 73, is a much-traveled guy. He played in the Canadian Football League with Calgary.
Well,
Manny Sistrunk helped out.
The Eagles have had their problems. As you know, they've through various trades they've made, whether right or wrong, they've lost a lot of the draft choice and won't have really a first draft choice until 2 years. But they just make makeshift jobs of all the players they can find wherever they come from.
3rd and 7 from the 43. Staubach out of the shotgun and either just messed up the pass or it was actually deflected. And he was in the act of passing.
Or was that an interception? I saw a hand come down there right underneath it. Let's see.
I don't know whether somebody just spun the ball around or whether it slipped out of Rogers' hand. It happened so fast, and maybe we can take another look.
Well, that's a great thing about instant replay, isn't it? Let's take a look and see. Roger getting a hold of it, all right. That arm's going forward. It is not a fumble.
Oh, see, it just came out. He was throwing a knuckleball.
That's it.
Or a spitter.
You don't see it very often.
So 4th and 7 from the 43, and Danny White, who has kicked 2 out, 1 at the 8 and 1 at the 6. This time he's too far away, so he belts it down to Larry Marshall, and the kid with a broken nose gets it tripped up by Benny Barnes at the 15-yard line. Boy, what a player is Benny Barnes,
Yes,
number
sir.
31.
He is awfully good on the punting teams.
All right, the Eagles 7 and the Cowboys 7. 4:50 to go to the half.
America's best-selling new car in history, the new Ford Fairmont. What's behind Fairmont's success? Fairmont's mileage, highest EPA mileage rating of any mid-size car. Fairmont's roominess, more room.
Some with built-in radio. There are pocket models.
Should last another 50 years.
And even some that record in stereo.
Say something. Come on, say something.
So take a picture of a voice with Panasonic.
Say something, bark.
The Eagles 1st and 10 on their own 18. That's where they started on their last touchdown drive. The big play in that drive, a pass to Keith Prefley, and we'll see if Jaworski is looking for the tight end again. But no, it is Betterson, and he is pulled down shy of the 20-yard line. Jim Betterson, one-year man who has a touchdown this year. He's out of North Carolina. Say a reminder, Jerry Pate and Hollis Stacy leading Curtis Strange and Nancy Lopez by 3 strokes in the mixed team championship, and that'll be on the finale right after the game, so stay with us. Carmichael goes wide left. Montgomery behind Hogan. And Smith wide right. And it's a give to Hogan. And I'll tell you who was very surprised on the play, and because he was surprised, it didn't work. Stan Walters. Number 75 was just standing there and appeared to be startled on that play.
Yes, sir. He passed him up in his way.
I think Walters expected a pass. Watch 75 on the left
screen
side.
now. There's Hogan. And there's Walters.
Walters saying, where'd you come from?
He might have thought that was going to develop to the inside that time. Didn't look like it. He started off and left all the way. Good effort there by Mike Hogan. You got to like a guy like that.
So it's 3rd and 5. The Eagles move the ball out to the 23-yard line. Started on the 18. Smith slot right inside Carmichael. And there's Prefley now coming off the line as the tight end wide left. And they ran out of time. Took too long. The 30-second clock runs down, and that'll pin 5 yards on the Eagles.
And instead of a 3rd and 6, you're going to have a 3rd and 11. And that's no quarterback in the world will tell you. And with that field position, tell you likes that decision.
Delay, offense.
So they started on the 18, and they're right back there again now. A 3rd down call by Ron Jaworski. 7-7. Dorsett went over from inside the 2, and a 51-yard touchdown pass from Jaworski to Hogan tied it up. 3rd and 10 from the 18. With 3:24 to go to the half. Wilbert Montgomery in there with Mike Hogan. And Jaworski chasing away from Gregory, and he's got his man for the 1st down. Bill Gregory chasing Jaworski, but Ron had his eyes down the right side and picked up Charlie Smith and hit him.
Charlie Smith. Biggest thing they have, the nearest thing they have to a deep threat on the Eagle team. He doesn't have blinding speed, but he catches the ball well, runs pretty good pattern. They're pleased with him.
So they picked up 16 yards from the 18 to the 34. That's their 1st and 10 for the Eagles. We have 2 minutes and 51 seconds, and Charlie Johnson has had it for the day and perhaps for the year. Pitch back to Wilbert Montgomery, and he goes out of bounds. A flag on the play, and I think a clip is going to be charged against Stan Walters, number 75. Let's see, Thomas Henderson pointing at Walters as if to say, you are the guilty party.
Henderson, a very outspoken Cowboy himself.
So Thomas Henderson wearing a striped shirt for the moment, indicating the man who broke the rules, and Stan Walters a little bit ticked off now. They'll spot it at the 21-yard line, and we'll get the call.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 35. Offense.
Number 35.
But it said 35, which is Mike Hogan. So we'll take another look. So Henderson thought that Walters 75 clipped.
Let's take a look at 75, Stan Walters, and let's look at 35. And let's see who did do the clipping. Well, it was on a marginal clip. If it was a clip, I would think probably we'd go on Walters there and dove after the back of his leg.
Well, it's first and 23 from the 21-yard line, and Jaworski to Montgomery. He got away from two tacklers. He got out across the 25. Charlie Waters and Harvey Martin appeared to have him, but he got away for a yard or two. But they're still very, very deep. That was a long way to go.
The outstanding Randy White was fooled that time. Took him out of his area on a misdirection play. What a year he's having, though. All-Pro honors, I think, are coming his way.
I can't believe that.
Whoa.
Don't forget, at halftime, we'll have all the scores, but that one will stand up by itself for a while. The Giants 20 and the Cardinals 7 in the fourth. Ball on the 27-yard line. It is second and 17 for Jaworski, and he wants to come over and talk to Dick Vermeil. Vermeil, the 41-year-old coach of the Eagles, who has done a marvelous job. Of course, it's quite a job to come up with the play, second and 17. The 2 minutes left in the first half. Eagles in Dallas 7-7.
This is Combat in the Field and in your home. New Telstar Combat, the video tank game with two-fisted controls found in real tanks, so you can maneuver all over the battlefield, dodge mines, one mistake and regroup, aim, fire. The score mounts, the battle quickens, turn, fire. Telstar Combat gives you 4 different battle games. So hit your TV to a Telstar. Telstar Combat by Coleco.
Energy for a stronger America.
Last year, Exxon launched the world's tallest offshore oil platform. Today, off California's coast, it's opening America's really deep waters as a source of energy for the first time. From its deck over 900 feet above the ocean floor, drilling crews have begun work. And soon, 28 wells here will be producing oil and gas where none could be produced before. A new source of energy for a strong America.
2 minutes to go to the half. The Eagles and the Cowboys are stacked up 7-7. And for the Eagles, they have 17 yards to go for a first down. The ball on the Philadelphia 27-yard line. Second and 17 for Jaworski, who has a modest string going now. He has completed 4 in a row. The last one to Charlie Smith. Charlie goes wide right. Carmichael is left, and Sullivan is back in there with Hogan. Second down, 17. Hogan stays in to block, and he dumps it off to Sullivan. And Sullivan is stacked up and knocked out of bounds by Mark Washington and Aaron Kyle.
And Ben Scully, who would have thought this game at halftime would have been like it? The way Dallas came out on their first series drive, got ahead 7-0, threatened the entire first quarter, and then now it's tied up 7-7.
The only interesting point about score, Dallas won last week 14-7. The Eagles lost to New England 14-7, and they're playing somewhat the way they must have played last week.
Cowboys have amazed me through the years, though. They seem like they only move the ball when they have to. They don't have killer in a lot of games. That started out this year, it looked like the best Cowboy team ever. They were building up large scores on teams. But the last 4 weeks, not so.
Third and 15 from the 29. Jaworski going to go to Hogan at the 30 to the 35, out to the 38-yard line. That is not nearly enough for the first down. He got to pick up 15 yards and get to the 44. So the Eagles will have to give it up. And Spike Jones will come in to do the punting. 1 minute and 37 seconds left to go to the half. The Eagles and the Cowboys are all tied 7-7. Again, to repeat, the Eagles this year have scored 162 points. They have allowed only 169. Meanwhile, the Cowboy defense has given up only 157. So it figures to be a hard-nosed game. And the last time they met, the Cowboys won 16-10. So it's 7-7 with 1:37 to go. And for the Eagles to shut the Cowboys out in the second quarter, that's quite a trick.
It certainly is. It's a tribute to the coaching of the Eagle staff because they're playing with a lot of makeshift players.
The Eagles have 3 timeouts, Dallas with 2, and Spike Jones ready to kick. Standing all alone is Butch Johnson on his 20-yard line. And hold everything. Knocked flat on his back is Dennis Franks, the center.
That turned out to be a big play the other night in the Washington game, didn't it?
That's right. When D.D. Lewis, the center, and Washington felt that D.D. had moved, drew the line offsides, kept the Dallas drive alive, and they went on to win it. So the Eagles turnabout is fair played. Let's get the call. We do know that Dennis Franks was knocked on his numbers.
Knocked on his numbers.
Encroachment, offense. Move it back a little.
So that makes it 4th and 5, so it gives Spike an extra 5 yards to work with. Don't forget, Brent, Phyllis, and Herb coming up, along with a report from Largo, Florida, our mixed team championship at halftime. Scores of all the other games. Low pass from center. He still got it away. And Butch Johnson at his 25. Papali nailed him at the 30. Vince Papali has done a fine job twice of causing Johnson to fair catch, and this time when Johnson caught it, Papali caught Johnson.
Earns his money, doesn't he?
Sure does. He really had a short hop the ball. Dennis Franks really bounced it to him.
Ben alluded to a low snap from center, and that's just about shoe tops. That will throw a kicker off, too. It might be why you can directly attribute that to the short kick, a relatively short kick.
All right, the Cowboys with 2 timeouts have it 1st and 10 on their own 31. 1:28 left to the half. 7-7 tie. Out of the shotgun is Staubach. High off Dorsett's hand. And both Mahalik and LeMaster were coming up to try and knock him back to Pittsburgh.
Mahalik has been good on the pass coverage all day. He is getting a good long deep drop, but he is coming up rather quickly. Look at this. You've got to know that Tony Dorsett knew there's somebody in the area because his concentration was not entirely on the football. And look,
here they come. Mahalik and LeMaster saying next time.
And I'll be here the next time you come.
2nd and 10 from the 31 with 1 minute and 23 seconds to go. Roger loading up the shotgun. Staubach going to the right side off the hands of Dupree, the tight end. And the crowd growling a little. John Bunting was right there defending.
Billy Joe Dupree. We've been down here in the lands of the Joe Dons and the Billy Joes and the Billy Clydes. They will have a double name here in Texas.
So Staubach now has a 3rd and 10, and Roger with a hello CBS from the Super Bowl bound Cowboys. It says there. There's a lot to be decided before the Super Bowl.
Particularly with that St. Louis game going like it is. Who's gonna be the wild card from where?
All right, 3rd and 10 from the 31. 1:18. Staubach faking over the head of Burnham. Dumps it off to Pearson, and he fakes Logan, and he's to midfield, and coming is Johnny Outlaw to trip him up at the 40-yard line.
The old middle screen trick. Just the other day I was asked, why didn't Roger Staubach throw the middle screen from the shotgun formation? Well, he does, and there you'll see it.
He just gets the ball over Lem Burnham's hand. Burnham almost got it.
You see Preston Pearson stepping back inside, acting like a blocker. The old jump pass by Roger Staubach. I know of no other quarterback that uses it. Look at the 3 men out in front. Rafferty, Herbert Scott. And here is the thing. Preston Pearson, very intelligent receiver, but not the speed. And a person with more speed might have taken it on in for the score. Yet, when it comes to the 2-minute drill, there's no quarterback any better than Roger Staubach.
1 minute and 6 left, as you see. 1st and 10 on the Eagle 39. A Cowboy club that has destroyed the opposition in the second quarter has been blanked up to here in the second quarter. Staubach down the right side throws it away. Butch Johnson in the area. That's about all.
John Outlaw on the coverage.
So Staubach stops the clock with 1 minute and 1 second to go at the half. 2nd and 10, the ball on the Eagle 39-yard line.
You know, you mentioned the fact that among active quarterbacks, he is the oldest at 35. You just don't think of it because of the 4 years he spent in the Navy before joining the Cowboys. At 35, they've got to keep a boy like White around Danny White to start thinking in terms of replacing it. Although he does take care of his body a whole lot more than, well, say Billy Kilmer and things like
Billy Kilmer? Second and 10 from the Eagle 39. Staubach again down the middle this time and high. Great catch by Golden Richards. And he's down just shy of the 15-yard line. It was Golden Richards who caught the touchdown pass to beat Washington.
And a fine catch there. Roger gets it. I think we'll see this right here just after he releases the ball. But all the concentration is on that open man. Just as he released it, he did get dumped. Look at the fine catch by Golden Richards, who is not having one of his finer years. Of course, he's only playing half the time. He's alternating with Whit Johnson. Makes a fine catch before he takes it on down. He's only averaging 12 yards per reception this year, and his previous average is somewhere up around 18 or 19.
Dick Vermeil, 41 and aging rapidly. With 52 seconds left to go in the half. Dick, who has done an outstanding job with the Eagles, coming off the campus of UCLA, where he had upset Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. He was 15-5 in college in 2 years. Dick has seen his club come agonizingly close so many times this year. And as he was saying yesterday, the one thing he is trying desperately to learn is to absorb a tough defeat without chewing himself to pieces.
That's right. He used to blame himself for all the losses. He says this year it's just been too frustrating. I passed him twice today in the lobby before I realized who it was. He's such a youthful person.
On the other side of the field, standing atop Mount Olympus, is the 6th winningest coach in the history of football. Tom Landry at 53 has seen his Cowboys win 146 games. They're going into the playoffs for the 11th time in their last 12 years. If they win today, they'll be winners in the NFC East for the 2nd consecutive year.
A very matter-of-fact, calm, self-contained man, and his teams play just like it. They're very disciplined, as is he. And his dress, his appearance, the whole thing.
And, of course, for Tom, I guess the peak of his career winning the Super Bowl 6 in 72. Right now, it's 1st and 10 on the 16. We have 52 seconds to go to the half. Preston Pearson and Tony Dorsett back of Staubach. Staubach is going for 6 and throws it away. Down there in the corner was Drew Pearson, but he wasn't within 10 yards of the ball.
Well, you can look at things from 2 ways. Let's look at it from John Outlaw's position, and you'll find that he had the coverage. They had the right coverage on that time. If anything, it would have been interference on Drew Pearson. Did we catch it? The pattern was not there. Roger tried to force that one. Should have not thrown it in that area.
The crowd roaring over that giant Cardinal ball game with 47 seconds to go to the half. After 2 big passes, a screen pass to Preston Pearson and a pass to Golden Richards, Staubach is trying to take his ball club into the locker room with a lead instead of tie. Once more, going into the end zone, and this time it's caught by Drew Pearson for a touchdown.
And how many times do we have to say it? When the Cowboys get in trouble, you can look at them going to Drew Pearson, number 88. Big players make big plays, Ben, and that's why the Cowboys have been so successful in the past. Roger Staubach, a big player himself, right on the money. And a fine catch there by Drew Pearson. Good coverage by John Outlaw, but there's no good coverage against a perfectly thrown pass. Let's look at it again from a different angle. Ground level shot of it. Up and at it.
So the Cowboys, who were denied once when it appeared that Preston Pearson had scored, and that was called back, this time they get one for keeps to Drew Pearson. And the Cowboys have once again asserted themselves. They lead the Eagles 14-7 with 42 seconds to go to halftime. But for the Eagles, anyone who saw them on that 51-yard touchdown pass to Mike Hogan, it's certainly not a ball club that's going to back off and quit, not by any means. Now, you talk about infinity. There's a man looking at himself, looking at himself ad infinitum.
He had to lug that around all the way from home, too, just for that moment. You're in showbiz.
Wilbert Montgomery and Larry Marshall. The twin safeties now going back to receive for Philadelphia. And little Efren Herrera will be kicking off for Dallas. Bruce Huther, number 57, directed to be on the outside of Tom Henderson. Mike Hegman just to the left of Herrera, and we're ready. 42 seconds to go to the half. Dallas leading the Eagles 14-7. And Herrera will send it down to Larry Marshall, but no, Montgomery takes it away from him. To the 15 and to the 20. So Wilbert Montgomery, a rookie out of Abilene Christian, and maybe he decided down here in front of the Texas folks he had a run with one, so he just took that away.
Either that or the fact that he's a number 2 kickoff returner in the NFC. He's done well this year. He's averaged over 24 yards per return. Not so well that time, though.
Larry Marshall right back of him with 22, and Larry playing with a broken nose. You had to play with a broken nose, huh?
I played with him a lot of times, man. That big old cage will keep him off of you for a while, though.
The Eagles have 3 timeouts and 37 seconds. We'll see how they deploy it. Hogan and Sullivan back to Jaworski from the 20. Fake play action. Dumps it off to Sullivan, who juggles and drops it, and Randy White knocked a few syllables off Jaworski that time.
What a season he's had. Randy White, third leading tackler on the team with 55 individual tacklers. He's had 10 sacks as well. He keeps getting better and improving with every game.
Jaworski had a string of 6 straight pass completions, but Randy White's rush and the low pass to Sullivan snapped it.
Even on screen passes, when you get that kind of rush, you'll throw off the timing. And Harvey Martin, too mean.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 20. 34 seconds to go to the half. 14-7 Cowboys. And they give to Sullivan. He gets across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and the clock is running. That was a strange play, a very conservative play.
Well, they're going to have to take that late touchdown into the half with them. That's bad enough. But anything else, if they would get another field goal to add on to that, that would be a demoralizing thing. I think they're playing a calculated game now and just go ahead and taking a 14-7 deficit into the locker room with them.
Wade Key and Jerry Sizemore pulled to lead the way. Timeout now for the Eagles with 22 seconds to go to the half. Jaworski again chatting with Dick Vermeil. Vermeil was a quarterback coach under the Rams and Tommy Prothro back in 1971. And he served under Chuck Knox with the Rams. So he went from professional ball to college ball, head coach at UCLA, and then to the pros as a head coach, followed Mike McCormick. Tom Landry is the only coach they've had here. In fact, you might just as well say the one and only.
Took him 7 years to put together a winning organization here. Clint Murchison, their owner, stood behind him the whole time, quieted critics that wanted him fired by giving him a 10-year contract and said, you go ahead and complain for 10 more years, but it paid off for him.
Of course, Landry's name in Texas is synonymous with football. He was a winning fullback at the University of Texas, and then he was an all-pro cornerback for the New York Giants. 3rd and 4 from the 26 with 22 seconds to go to the half. 14-7 Dallas. Randy White moving around, but he got back. And now Jaworski is setting up. Can't find anybody, and he has to eat it. All the men were covered.
Randy White and Harvey Martin. Who are they going to give this sack to? Or is that when you get the half sack? Which is probably the case right here. See Harvey Martin first there. Randy White just following suit.
Well, that's the Dallas first sack of the day to give them 45. And for Jaworski, who was knocked flat 8 times last week, he had been dodging a bullet until just then. So on 3rd and 12, he threw. And, of course, now 4th and 12, he'll have to punt.
Now what do the Cowboys do? Do they rush it? Or do they try to return it? Because they'll still have time for one play and perhaps kick a field goal or well, depending on how far the punt goes, they might try for a fair catch. It gives them a free kick from whatever area of the field.
So we'll see if the Philadelphia Eagles, first of all, have Spy Jones kick it from just about his end zone, and then Butch Johnson, who has fair catch, or fair caught, actually, 2 punts today. We'll see if he calls another one. Jones will be punting from the 5. And he just did get it away. And there's the fair catch with a flag on the play.
Roughing the punter for certain, then. Everybody ran into him. Aaron Kyle, one of the leaders.
Bruce Huthard, a rookie out of New Hampshire, was a little over-anxious and over-eager, along with Aaron Kyle. They were charging in there. So the Eagles' offensive team will go back on the field. So where it was 4th and 12, by roughing up the kicker, the Eagles will have at least one play with 9 seconds to the half.
There's a foul running into the kicker. Number 55.
Yep, that's right, Bruce Huthard.
First down.
57.
Free agent.
It was a 35-yard punt, but it's all history now. The Eagles 1st and 10 on their own 23. The Cowboys scored the first time they got the ball. Then in the second quarter, on an interception by Randy Logan and a 51-yard pass to Mike Hogan, the Eagles tied it up. But on the pass from Staubach to Drew Pearson, the Cowboys took the lead again. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining in the half. We have 9 seconds, and there's a little draw that gets the ball out across the 35-yard line. Timeout as Hogan moved it out across the 35. So 2 seconds to the half. And again, Jaworski coming over to talk to Vermeil.
Now, why would you want to call 2 seconds of a timeout with 2 seconds remaining before the half, Dan?
I have an idea that the Eagles are not just going to sit on the ball. You know, it was 2nd and 12, and they had that sweep when they pulled the guards. Then it was 3rd and 12, and he passed. He was going for broke. Then we had the infraction on the kicker. Now, after a draw play with 2 seconds left, and Jaworski has that kind of an arm, he might just try and go all the way.
All right. I'll be here for it.
Now we'll see. Watch him just fall on the ball. Don't forget, I have the scores of all the other ball games at halftime. Phyllis, Brent, and Irv will be along. We'll also get a report on golf out of Largo. The last we heard, Jerry Pate and Hollis Stacy leading in the championship with Curtis Strange and Nancy Lopez with 3 back. That was after the 3rd round, and we will get a report on the 4th and final round today. Okay, 1st and 10, 2 seconds, and everybody out. So Jaworski will be all alone back there. No back staying in. Yes, sir. He's going to try. He cranked it up, and he's going deep, and it is bobbled and dropped. And down on his knees, thinking of what a golden opportunity he had, is Charlie Waters. But he was going for broke, which is what it appeared that Jaworski was going to do. And so it's halftime in Dallas. The Cowboys with 14, and the Philadelphia Eagles, well, they have 7.
I dare you to knock this off. I dare you to compare anybody's batteries, anybody's, with alkaline power cells, and try to beat them for long life.
You know what? You can't. When you want long-lasting energy, you can't buy a longer-lasting all-purpose power system than gold, red, and black alkaline power cells from Everready.
The power cell that dares to compare. Come on. I dare you.
Will the insurance fix our chimney?
Sure, after we plow through the paperwork.
It's different with Allstate.
What's different?
We have the world's largest team of claims specialists.
Don't worry about a thing.
They settle most claims like this without estimates.
No problem.
Allstate specialists are interested in you, not paperwork.
I'll call the contractor today.
Oh.
That was easy.
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us, the good hands people.
You know why Zenith developed Color Century? Well, did you ever see my face and it looked too red? And other times it's all washed out? That's why.
Zenith Color Century. Think of it as a TV control room in your set. It controls the color picture, corrects the color picture, automatically, 30 times a second.
And that makes a difference. After all, I don't play for the Cincinnati Pinks.
See the difference Color Century makes. Only from Zenith.
Home movies have never been funnier than Rhoda's, and you're invited to watch every memorable moment. Then Julia and Maria become the new odd couple when they share an apartment in On Our Own. Sunday Funnies starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
In 2 weeks, CBS Sports Spectacular presents highlights of the WBC Welterweight Championship with Carlos Palomino defending his title against Jose Palacios of Mexico. Highlights of the 1977 National Hot Rod Association World Championships with Shirley Muldowney, Don Garlitz, and more competing. Plus, the United States Professional Arm Wrestling Championship. And the final event of the World's Strongest Men competition featuring the Tug of War. That's in 2 weeks on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
They're in the fourth quarter in the Meadowlands. It is still 27-7. The St. Louis Cardinals are losing to the Giants, and the Giants have just intercepted another Jim Hart pass. Chicago has just gotten on the field goal in the fourth quarter. Bob Thomas, after missing his first 2 field goals, finally hit one, 3-0. Peyton held to 55 yards. Ricky Bell has exploded, and there's the story of the upset. St. Louis, Washington next Saturday. Does that loom so big for a wild card spot now? Washington leading Buffalo in the fourth quarter, 7-0. They've made that one touchdown hold up all game. New England and Atlanta. The Patriots just scored. They were behind 10-9. Now it is 16-10. The Patriots, and of course that Falcon offense has a lot of trouble. Pittsburgh was tied at 13. They've exploded for 10 points. They lead the young Seahawks 23-13. Denver and Houston, 17-14. Morton hit for 2 touchdowns, 13 for the year, then left with a sprained shoulder. But when Houston pulled to within 3, Morton returned. In the game you're watching, the Dallas Cowboys trying to wrap up the NFC East. They lead at the half 14-7 over Philadelphia. San Francisco upsetting the Vikes in the third quarter. 3 more points go up. Ray Wershing, a hot kicker right now in the NFC, 16-0 49ers. Cincinnati and Kansas City, 17-7. 2 touchdown passes by Ken Anderson. He threw just 4 in his first 9 games. Now he's got 5 the last 2 weeks. Detroit and Green Bay. The Packers lead it by 10. They are in the second quarter. And Phyllis, what have we got after the football action?
Well, for all you golf fans, following today's game, most of you will be seeing the Mixed Team Golf Championship from Largo, Florida. And you may know that Hollis Stacy and Jerry Pate have led that tourney from just about the very first tee. But play is now in the final round, and their lead is slipping. And a couple of old pros named Palmer, that is Arnold and Sandra, are making a change and a charge. Here comes Jack Whitaker to tell you a little bit about it.
Here, this mixed team championship has been the team of Hollis Stacy and Jerry Pate, who began in the first round on Thursday in wind and rain with an incredible 61, 11 under par, and threatened to run away with the tournament. They almost did, except that a team of Curtis Strange and Nancy Lopez set out after them. But every time it looked as if they were going to catch them, Jerry Pate and Hollis Stacy would find some of the magic. It happened yesterday twice. You might remember here at 18 yesterday when it looked like the team of Hollis Stacy and Jerry Pate might lose another stroke. Here came the magic again, as provided by Hollis. And that beautiful putt gave them a 3-stroke lead going into the fourth round. But things have changed here today. For a moment, indeed, Lopez and Strange did catch Pate and Stacy. But as you see now, they have a 1-stroke lead. Then Strange and Lopez, and look who has moved into third place. Arnold and Sandra Palmer, 12 under. They are 4 under today. Then the defending champions, Joanne Washam and Chi-Chi Rodriguez, along with Tom Pertzer and Sandra Post and Wally Armstrong and Beth Stone at 11 under. We're going to have some competition here. So enjoy your football game and then come back and get a little Florida sun and the final moments of this very exciting mixed team championship.
Thank you, Jack. I tried to cheat San Francisco of 4 points. A rookie by the name of Dave Williams of Colorado returned the second half kickoff for a touchdown. 17-0, 49ers over Minnesota. Back with highlights as the NFL Today continues after these messages from your local station.
What's the true test of friendship between roommates? Having your apartment painted. It happens to Julia and Maria on Our Own tonight on CBS.
Exactly 2 minutes left in the New York-St. Louis game. Still 27-7 Giants. Chicago in the fourth quarter trying to hold on to that 3-0 lead that they have over the tough Buccaneer defensive unit today. Walter Payton, he's gained about 63 yards so far. Here he is, but watch Selman, 63. Come over and make sure he's down. And here is Leroy again. All-America from Oklahoma, top draft choice, taking it to Bob Avellini. Here's the play that turned it around. It was still scoreless. Gary Fensick picked off this pass by Hedberg. Now it's the Selman brothers, Dewey and Leroy. They meet at the pass, and Walter is squeezed. Finally, Thomas connects. 3-0 in that ball game right now. Now, how about the St. Louis-New York Giant game? The Giants served warning on the first series of the afternoon against the Cardinals. The Cardinal defensive unit gave up those 55 points to Miami, and just maybe it was no fluke. Here's Bobby Hammond for a touchdown against the Cardinals. It was 7-0. Late in the first quarter, Hart rallied the Cardinals. He hit Wayne Morris, who was pushed out of bounds. They changed ends of the field. Hart went to Ike Harris for the touchdown, Hart's 12th TD pass of the year. It was 10-7 Giants. Hart dropping back. Badly thrown ball. Bryant intercepted, went the distance for the touchdown. Giants leading St. Louis, 17-7 after that. Pisarcik wanted his tight end. Gary Shirk, Cardinals with trouble in their defensive secondary, and you can see it illustrated here. 63 yards. Willie Spencer pounded across as the fourth quarter began. 27-7 inside at 2 minutes. Irv?
Brent, with almost 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in the Buffalo Bill-Washington Redskins game, the Skins have the ball and lead by a score of 7-0 deep in Buffalo territory. Joe Theismann was the guy at quarterback who got the call as a starter today and went to Mike Thomas in the second quarter here, and the tailback takes the ball upfield for a nifty 15-yard gain, allowing the Redskins to get their only score of the day, and it's held up so far. Theismann rolls out, and it's number 84, Gene Fugit. Fugit catches the ball, and watch him bowl over those tacklers. He goes in, and the Redskins are winning late in the fourth quarter by a score of 7-0.
Irv, Green Bay is stopping Detroit 10-0 in the second quarter. How's the weather in Green Bay? Not very good. It is cold. It snowed early this morning. Trying to chip away the ice so the folks could sit down. Quarterback draw by Whitehurst. Goes for 19 yards to the Detroit 28. Whitehurst to Steve Odom, 18-yard gain down to the Detroit 6-yard line. Harrell carried it in for the game's only touchdown. Markle added a field goal. It is 10-0. He was across the line. He broke the plane there, so the Lions protested, but they did not get the ball. Irv, what about the game we're watching?
Well, Brett, you know, the Dallas Cowboys have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles 6 straight times, and of course they're leading now at halftime by a score of 14-7 at Texas Stadium. And Roger Staubach had a pretty good first half. Here in the first quarter, he goes to Billy Joe Dupree, his tight end. He takes the ball down to the 1-yard line, and Tony Dorsett does the rest. Quick trap inside touchdown, and Dallas took a 7-0 lead. The Eagle defense has played well all year long, and strong safety Randy Logan, in my estimation, is one of the best. Here he picks off an interception and a Staubach pass here and brings the ball up near midfield, giving the offense an opportunity to get started again. And Ron Jaworski goes to work, going to his running back, Mike Hogan. Hogan makes a nifty catch and run here, 49 yards all the way on this one for a touchdown, and the Eagles close the gap, and the score at this point in the second quarter was 7-7. But Roger Staubach knows how to get back in a hurry, and he goes to his wide receiver, Golden Richards. Richards makes a catch, takes the ball down to the 15-yard line, and from there, Staubach goes to the air again. You know who, Drew Pearson, touchdown, and Dallas leads 14-7 at halftime.
All right, 5:50 to go in Tampa Bay. Chicago has just scored a touchdown. They lead it 10-0. And they figure to be tied with the Minnesota Vikings if the San Francisco 49ers keep it up. Here is Plunkett going to Jackson, who runs to the Minnesota 23-yard line. Delvin Williams, the other half of that tough running combination for the touchdown. It was 7-0. The opening kickoff in the second half. Here is Dave Williams, busting a tackle, getting good wedge blocking, coming up the middle, outrunning everyone for the score. It is now 17-0. St. Louis, New York, 1:10 left. And right now, let's go back to Texas Stadium. Vin Scully and Alex Hawkins. Vin?
The best-selling American-made small car versus Japan's bestsellers.
Hello, I'm Jackie Stewart at Indianapolis, where the best-selling Japanese cars competed head-to-head against the best-selling small car made in America, Ford Pinto. In 2 driving tests certified by the United States Auto Club, which car performed best? Let's find out. In the truck passing test, a 78 Ford Pinto moved out and passed, quicker than a Datsun B210. Passed quicker than Toyota Corolla. passed quicker than Honda Civic. In the highway entrance test, which car accelerated to the highway speed first? Pinto. Faster than Datsun. Faster than Toyota. Faster than Honda. And 78 Pintos now have added features and are sticker priced lower than last year. Check out the complete line of Ford Pintos yourself at your local Ford dealers. Another better idea from Ford.
I always wanted to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. After college, I kept working out, running through the streets of Philadelphia. Then, finally, I made it as a 30-year-old rookie. For me, Vince Papale, it was a dream come true. Another dream came true in Philadelphia here in 1776 at Independence Hall. The Liberty Bell rang it out, and Betsy Ross sewed a flag for it. Dreams are still coming true as Philadelphia rebuilds the riverfront and Center City area. These people are dream makers. They're United Way volunteers, neighbors, fans, and teammates working for the mentally ill and retarded, the YMCA, and many other agencies funded by our United Way. Philadelphia wouldn't be the same without them. They take pride in their team, their city, and their United Way. On behalf of the volunteers in the four-county area of Philadelphia, we'd like to say thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.